So, going to be going over Unit 16. Hopefully, this one will be pretty chill to explain. So, starting off with the relational affix index. So, I made a mistake in chapter 13 with the list system. I didn't realize that until I was started looking over Unit 16. So, basically, if you have two verbs, right, and there's two different actors, you can use inde to indicate that the actor of the verb in the middle of the sentence is different from the ending verb, which would be the main verb. What I didn't realize that in chapter 13, this li prefix, when you use it for the verb that's in the middle of the sentence, like maybe this one, metallin, um, that needs to match up with the main verb at the ending. If they're different, you use inde. So that was really important for me to realize. This inde comes before the short imperfective. It has short imperfective notes here. Inde before ya, it's inde before ya, inde before a, and inde elsewhere. Basically, I would just translate the word to that, I, he, she, whatever, blanks. Basically, the same meaning as from chapter 13, like I was saying, but the usage is different. I think it even says here, like, um, where is it? The resulting form is one for it should be noted. Yeah, it has approximately the same meaning as inde, but it's basically different. Yeah, you use it for when the two people in the sentence are not the same person who are doing the actions. So I came here to try and show that. So mesafu indefelig metau. My hint here for doing the sentence is I would start in reverse with the main verb and then add on the like that he, she, he could do whatever. So metau is I came. Mesafu indefelig. I would interpret this as that he would look for. So this is kind of a situation where the short imperfective of first person and third person I think will end up looking exactly the same. So I came so that he looks for the book. These were vetted by my pop, so these all should hopefully be correct. But if not, I guess I'll just make a correction video like I did for 13. Misafun indefelig meta. So meta is, I would start there. He came so that I'm guessing this because it can't be me, right? Because these two need to not be the same person. So the only other person it could be is me, so that I can look for the book, right? Mesafun lifelig metau. So these two need to be about the same person. They need to both be about me. So I came so that I can look for the book. I came to look for the book. Right? Mesafun lefelig meta. So my dad was telling me that le and le are sort of the difference in pronunciations for I versus he. But the other thing is that you can just look at the end of this verb and you know they have to agree. So meta is he came, so he came to look for the book. You can't do mesafun lefelig meta and say like he came so that I look for the book, or mesafun lefelig meta I came to sleep. Like you can't do this. These two need to be agreed. There is some weird one where it's like mesafun liafeligin meta, and you can use something that looks like this list system and then have this person and this person not be the same actors of the verbs, but I actually haven't seen this before. So maybe looking at examples, this is an example we went up over before, but we can do it again. So Mesafun lefeleg meta, he came, and this needs to be about me so that I can look for the book. Mesafun indefeleg neggerin, so he told me, so he's doing this action, so I have to be doing this one. So he told me so that I will look for the book, Mesafun. So he told me to look for the book is how I interpret that. He came to the book, he told me that I look for the book, right? This was, to help understand that. Indehit eyekau. So Teikau is either he visited him or he asked him. I think in this case it's he asked him. And because he's doing this action, I know that this needs to be a different person than this one. And I think it's actually going to be, since he's talking to this guy, I think we would assume that it's a different he. So it's like he asked that he go. He asked that he go. These are two different he's. I guess one actually is a pretty tough example. In the heat, he asked him to go. Yeah, two different people. We can do it on this side also. Mesafun indayan bebu negarawacho. So I told them, Mesafun indayan beb indiyambu. Okay, so manbeb is weird. It's gonna end up it's gonna keep the y in this case because normally it loses that y when you add another prefix in front of it. So that's where the y is coming. So indaya. So like right indaya before a. Bebu. And because it ends with a U, we know that it has to be them. So this can either be talking about they, them, or it could be talking to a you who's, maybe an elderly person, someone respectful, ergo. So I told them, and Mambe is to read, so that they read their book. So it's either them or you. I told them to read the book, right? Um, may also be used as a less abrupt command form. Oh, I didn't take notes on this actually. Uh, Pretty important to probably know this. Inditahid, Inditabella, okay. Yeah, let me take a quick screenshot of this. Um, it can also be used to make less um, intense imperative commands. So this actually also be very important. And I actually may even come down here and grab imperative tense if I have somewhere. I don't know if I have no, I don't. I'll have to go back and add that. Anyway, we'll continue. So next section is talking about ras. So this is just ways of saying like myself, his, himself, herself. So what you do is you start with ras, right? That's the stem, and then you add noun suffix pronouns. So as for myself, if for him, for you, male, ish for herself. I'm skipping polite. Rasu is himself, right? If we said like Beitu would be his house or Miki Nawu, his car. Rasu is himself. Raswa herself. Rasachin ourselves. Rasachu yourselves. Rasacho themselves. You can also use it in what it calls a reflexive pronoun sense, where it's like the person that's doing something is doing it to themselves or something. So like this one and rasein. So you just put an end onto it, so that way you know that myself is receiving the action at the end. Lefetinas for the exam. Zegejallo. So I will prepare myself for the exam. I will prepare myself for the exam. You can also use it to provide emphasis with independent pronoun. Like if you want to be, I guess, somewhat dramatic or intense, either seriously or maybe in a comedic way, like like I will go. I'll go myself. I don't know why, but apparently the last recording stopped halfway through. So I'm just going to, I guess, continue from where I left off. Let me actually pause this. So I'm just going to continue from where I left off. Pretty unfortunate it happened like that. Okay. So I basically explained 16.2. 16.3, luckily, is pretty chill. It's trying to talk about 4 radical verbs. I think it's our first time seeing these. Luckily, to me, they seem like they have pretty logical conjugations. Like memenzed, I don't know what the word means, but you just chop off the me, you add an e onto the end, you get the perfective, right? Me, I guess you double this, but I don't care about that. Throw an e on the end, perfective. Take out the me, add a y, I, and then an al to the end, you should get this one. Yeah, yemenzeral. I guess you can also change this last e into an I, but that's a different thing. This is supposed to be showing it in the passive reflex. This is a different one. Mamasgen, it's with an A. So this is like to give thanks, I believe. Amasgenda, I'm guessing he gave thanks. Yamasgenyal, he will give thanks. And I think pretty logical following from there. 16.4, so now they talk about 3 and 4 radical verbs that have an O. So this O here is what they're talking about, and it mentions 2 things about these type of verbs. It's saying that like the consonant will be doubled in the perfective form if it's not already. So mechokol is already doubled, so it doesn't really matter here. But metrogol, which means to translate, boom, now it's doubled here. I don't really care about that. The only thing I care about, so I just sent it just because I want to be thorough with my explanations, but this O, the way I would just interpret it is that like in the imperfective, it's going to change into a U. Like yechekolal, yetergumal. Like if you see this O to a U change, that's just what it does for whatever reason. Yeah, I think that's basically the only thing I really take away from that. Continuing to 16.5, nouns of agents. So these are like nouns or modifiers. Basically, you'll add an I and replace like sort of the ending E here for perfective of he, him. And then you'll generally get a lot of the nouns. I don't think this is a perfect system. There's some exceptions to this, but it works pretty generally. Like temare is he learned, tamari is student, astamari is he taught. I don't know if it's be taught, it's he taught. Astamari is teacher. Great one for a modifier, like aschagere is he calls it to be difficult. Aschagari is difficult. you may have noticed that, okay, there's an E here. Why does it all of a sudden become an A? Like A is how all these end up turning into. Yeah, like this one, Tekeba is receptionist, but Tekeba is he accepted. Um, I don't know how, super consistent these are. The other thing is, like, if it ends in one of the eight cursed consonants, you just change it to, the palatal consonant needs to be changed to, and you throw an I onto the end of it. I think there's examples. Excuse me. Kind of down here. Um, I'll try and find an example in a second, but I'll just continue with something you might have noticed that the vowel before the last consonant is replaced by an A for three and four radical verbs. That's why you have like, here we go, aschegeti. This is probably a one, two, three, four. I'm guessing it's a four radical verb. This E, the final E before the last consonant, is going to turn into an A for both three and four radical verbs. So that's why you'll see that happen. And then I'm trying to find an apalatal constant example. If all right, I mean, continuing. The vowels are the same as the perfected form except for causative A's, where this the dent is maintained. Ah, okay. Okay, so like I guess it would be for two radical verbs where you see this apalatal constant effect. Yeah, replace if needed. It says there are exceptions to causative A, but doesn't explain it. Yeah, it does also say that. I forgot to mention that in the initial recording. Let me actually just make sure this is recording, please. Okay, it's still going. Like megbot is to enter. It ends with a T. It's gonna be changed to. Oh no, it's just gonna remove it. Gebbi, one who enters. Interesting. Seta is he gave. Ends with the palatal consonant becomes ch. So setchi, I guess that would be someone who gives. Meta, he came. Metchi is one who comes. This it doesn't seem super consistent. Maybe there's something I'm missing about it. But I think that's basically everything I wanted to hit on for that. So hopefully that makes sense to some degree. Yeah, maybe down here. Yeah, I mean this is just showing again. It's not always like this where like you're gonna get the ea ending, or you're gonna have the apalatal constant system come into effect. Like I think, like mezgat is one where it works. Like you chop off the at, you put on the ia, you go from two closed and you get door. Mekfet is a situation where it doesn't work. You don't just chop off the et and then add an ea. It's mefket cha is which is key or opener. Metet you don't just chop off the at, it becomes a ch. Metet cha is a glass or a cup of some sort. But mesrat here, 18 chopped off. Mesria is an instrument or some sort of device. Mestet is to give. You don't just chop off the et, you turn it into ch. Mescha, which is something like that you use to give to other people. So it's not consistent, is what I'm basically trying to say. I guess there's kind of two things that can happen. You can either do et off and then add an ia, or you have to actually change this t, which a lot of words end in, to the palatal consonant. So I guess it's just kind of case by case situation. Noun of instruments. Oh, whoops! I jumped ahead. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll just keep it as is because I don't want to overcomplicate recordings. I mean, yeah, I'll just continue. Nouns of instrument. These are things that can either perform an action or a place where an action is performed. Like mekomas to stand, mekomia is a stop, mecharis is to end, mecharisha is an end, so it becomes a ch because it's palatal constant. Mejemer is to begin, mejemeria is a beginning. Mamelket is to apply, ameleket is an application. Now, I was kind of mentioning before, there's kind of two ways that you can get these noun of instrument words, which is either taking off the et or at and slapping on ea to the last suffix, or respecting the last suffix being an apalatal constant, and then you just change it to whatever it needs to be, and then throwing an a on, which is why I like mesrat, just chop up at, boom, ia. Whereas mestet, you have to respect this last apalatal constant, and it becomes mescha. Case by case is how I would go for that. And I think noun of instrument and noun of agent are pretty much using very similar systems, so I think it's okay that I blended the explanations. I'm trying to think of like, yeah, I guess iya is more noun of instrument, is I guess important to emphasize, and just is more of a noun of instrument ending, whereas these noun of agent endings I think are always going to have an I ending. Yeah, I think I can pretty much guarantee that. Last part is wayam and wis. So this is a pretty easy part, luckily. So you use wis when you're asking a question and you're using the word or. So I think it's either with examples like misafun bella wes albalam, like did you eat breakfast or did you not eat breakfast? I can even go, did you eat breakfast? What is in the head wes is it koyalle? Will you male go to the cinema or will you wait here? And are you going to the movie or are you staying here? Excuse me. You use wayam when you're saying or just in like a regular sentence, like you're saying either this or either that. Like Kadami wayam ohudamet Allah, I will come Saturday or Sunday. Tawat wayam mata yisra, let him yisra is like it's not imperative actually, I forget what it's called, but it's in that classic of conjugations. Like let him work. Tawat is morning, wayam mata, so let him work morning or night, in the morning or in the evening. Babor wayam, babor wayam bamekina memt un alaukum. Whether he will come by train or by car, I do not know. It should be noted that some speakers just use wayam in questions as well, in case you maybe get confused. So that should hopefully be the completed chapter. I'll try and just combine the two videos into one and use that.